in here. My apologies. We had an internet issue, so I'm just going to start over here. Heather Coleman here, intuitive medium, spiritual guide, Reiki and energy work practitioner. I'm also a yoga teacher. We are reading from two decks today. We have our Angel Prayers by Kyle Gray. We're actually going to start with a card from there. This card is called Spiritual Support, and when you look at the image of this, the main person here, their heart chakra is really lighting up because she's got this support in the background. It's interesting because it almost looks black and white, like you can't really see it, but then you've got these bright spots. It's like she's feeling more connected. I feel this week this has a lot to do with this ability that we are developing to stay connected to spirit even while there's noise outside of our lives. What I was starting to say before the video dropped and I had to start over was that most of us, unless we were born psychic and had someone to teach us our whole lives, but if that's not the case for you, if you're anything like me, I opened up as a medium in my 30s, and when I first started, I needed to meditate regularly. In order to connect and hear spirit guides accurately, I had to kind of like, sometimes I had to be in a room without distractions. Now I don't really have to because I've been in this so long, I've practiced. I can hear spirit when I'm in a loud place with lots of distractions. I feel like that's what you are stepping into, where maybe you're beginning to notice that you're connected all the time and you can hear your guides, or you can notice the signs or the automatic knowing, which is called claircognition, I believe that's called, or something close to that. If it's something a little different, post it in the comments. I appreciate it. But claircognition or claircognizance, something like that. The point being, you might be having doubts about that, but I really do feel that that's what this card is saying to you, that you are so connected to spirit and you're putting in the spiritual work, the discipline to keep that connection, and that you can feel confident that you're getting the guidance throughout your life, throughout your daily life. It's still a good idea to have a practice, which I still do. My biggest practice is about once a week, give or take. I will sit down with my cards, my notebook. I don't always draw cards, although I usually do for myself. But what I will do is I will have my pen and paper and I will listen and I will write down what I'm gaining or getting, receiving from source, so that I can maintain that strong connection, that strong communication. You may have a different practice for that. Just know that those practices help, but you can be clearly connected, and you are clearly connected to spirit even when you're going about your life, and even when there are other distractions, there's noise around you, there's people around you. So that's a really nice message, I feel, to start our reading off with this week. We're then going to go to what would be considered the Three of Cups. Here it is. The Three of Chalices, or water. Reason to celebrate we have with this card, rejoice in celebration. The fact that we are reading from this deck, let me grab the guidebook to show you the cover. The Psychic Tarot, author is John Holland. One thing I've always liked, I've had this deck for a number of years, is the grounded and pragmatic energy that this deck brings. The Suit of Cups or emotions can sometimes feel strong like waves and overwhelming, and that's still present, but there's a real grounded energy in every suit, which is why I really like this deck, because I feel like we need this week. I feel like we need some grounded, organized, balanced energy with the sweeping changes that are happening. We're still in the year of the fire horse. Now that Mercury's we're in the post-shadow of the retrograde. In fact, the post-shadow ends on the 7th, so we're almost completely done with all this Mercury retrograde energy. Things are going to speed up even more in these last weeks of summer that we have for the month of August here. However, that being said, this is going to apply whenever you see this video, especially if you're on YouTube. So this applies to what's happening whenever it finds you, and it's going to find you at the exact right time when you need to hear this most. Also, if this one is really resonating for you, consider saving this on some level, bookmarking it, come back to it in 3 months. I do that with videos that are especially powerful, readings that are especially powerful. Again, reason to celebrate both, I think, within your own life and people that you know. Thus, maybe you're getting invited to weddings, maybe you're getting engaged, maybe you're planning your own wedding. Maybe this could be the energy of a wedding, but in your workplace. Maybe you're partnering with a new business partner. Maybe you're getting offered and accepting a new job in the near future. This could absolutely, for some of you, a lot of this will show up in the next week. For some of you, it's going to take a little bit longer. These readings tend to be layered. So let's put this card aside and let's look at our next major arcana. This week, we have Wisdom, or Unity, card number 5. Kind of an old-fashioned image here. I'm going to shift over, you can see it. It kind of looks like an old-fashioned, maybe from like the 1700s, this image, a broom. But you have, this person to me is appearing as a spirit guide. Spirit guides are timeless. So they have wisdom that surpasses the exact circumstances of the time period that you're living in right now. Those of you that are getting even stronger in your relationship, communicating with your spirit guides, keep in mind that the wisdom they give you is timeless. They can see beyond what we see. What we've been programmed are like the beliefs and just the practices of the exact place and time we're living right now, and there's a reason for that. And one of the reasons that spirit guides are so helpful is they transcend that, and they help you transcend that. And sharing a little bit from my own experience with this, a lot of the things my own spirit guides will say to both to me to understand things and to deliver messages when I read for clients, a lot of what we are all dealing with right now is specific to the time period. I'm going to give you an example because it's something I think about a lot. I feel like people can be very inconsistent with their communication and flaky, especially on dating apps, sometimes in social settings. And I'm not going to lie, it really irks me. But it's also sort of a symptom of the time period we're living, where most of us know more people than we ever knew, like 100 to 300 years ago and further back in time. It's overwhelming for the human brain. Now, some people are still doing a really good job of communicating clearly, knowing how to gently say no. Some people are good at not promising things, but the majority of people aren't. And that's why you'll get this sort of wonky communication from a lot of people. This is a very interesting message that's been tickling at my brain for a couple of days. If your experience in life is anything like mine, which is that as a whole there are exceptions, but generally speaking, I feel like the people I interact with behave and interact a lot better in work settings than in like other settings, like personal and family. I just so appreciate, I feel like I can rely on people at work. I feel like there's a lot less passive-aggressive behavior in my workplace, and so I prefer to interact with people there more than certain aspects of family or old friends that have become former friends for a reason. So I want to say something about this. If this is not your experience, it may have to do with the fact that your soul finds its solace in your personal relationships outside of work. For people like that, often your work is sort of a means to an end. You might be someone that likes but doesn't love your job, or doesn't even like your job, but you can deal with it. However, if you find that you just feel so much better with your social connections at work as I do, that may be a sign that your work is your love, is your passion. So it's going to be different for you than some of the people you've known where their work wears them out and they look forward to getting out and just, doing something else. If you're anything like me, you love your work. You would do it whether you get paid or not. That's a gift. And again, when we look at this card, Wisdom, not everyone is in tune with themselves enough to choose and find work that they love, that lights them up. So this is a gift. Yes, some of you may have families that have become ununified, that have let you down. Maybe you had former friends or former love romantic partnerships that sucked. Maybe not in the beginning, right? But they got there. But if you found your best connections at work, that's actually a good sign, right? You're blessed, and that's where you're finding your unity. I'm going to put this card aside, and we're going to go next to, where are we? Okay. We have the Nine of Fire. What I like about this today, we'll put it on this side, has a little bit different meaning from what we often see with this card from other decks. Often, but not always, we'll get this card to say, maybe you don't have to fight so hard to maintain what you've built, or maybe you're still in fight or flight and you need to relax. That's often what this card will say. However, I feel like we have, again, this message of spiritual support. Let's see if we can grab that other card. Here it is, right here. This idea that you're being so bolstered by your spirit guides, people on the other side, your deceased loved ones, angels. You can see that pulling up. In this case, I think we've got the energy of your higher self, maybe more than one. There's this concept of what is called the higher self committee, and this idea is that you, as your current 3D you, are able to request a committee of your various aspects of your higher selves to come in specifically for who can help you right now. Last week we had this message of tuning into the aspect of you that already has done this, already overcome the issues you're having right now, and can say, look, I've done it, you can do it too, because I'm you, bro. So I feel like we have a lot of energy with this, and actually that's going to really tie in with the chakra card I drew, which is your crown chakra, that you have so much wisdom, and it's a matter of your tapping into it. This is also going to piggyback on that message that you're getting better and better all the time at being tuned into that aspect of you where you guide yourself. Even when you've got noise around you, you can hear the voice of wisdom. I'll give you a really good example of how this can work. 2 examples. One is, okay, here's a scenario. You're trying to make a decision or get perspective on a situation. You're talking to a friend or a family member, and they see it a certain way, and they're saying, I think it's this way, and I think you do this. And something feels like you want to be in confluence, you want to agree, but you can't, and there's conflict within yourself. You got to listen to you, okay? When that happens, it's you pushing back against what's actually not right on the outside. Another example, and this is really nice actually, this came up for me last week in a great meeting in my workplace. Our director, who was fantastic, was saying, let's put out some program ideas going forward in the next few months. And I was asked if I wanted to implement a certain program that has been successful in the past, but again, being psychic, the guide said, no, you're not going to have enough people. Now, I didn't say that at the meeting because I'm not in a meeting with psychics, but what I did say was, hey, that was successful once. Another time it wasn't because we didn't get enough of that type of people. I think maybe rather than take that risk again, why don't we try this other program? And that source was saying will be successful. And they agreed. They said, good idea. So, but that was a way that I could use my intuition. I didn't need to tell anyone, hey, source is saying no to this and yes to that. Well, no, because this wasn't a meeting of psychics, right? But it went really well. And I feel like that's what you're learning to do. When even your guides are saying, but you're like, okay, how can I push back in a way that is really successful and everyone wins? Love this one. We've got the 4 of Swords here. That's been coming up, I think, off and on, to rest, rejuvenate. Sometimes when you rest your body, your mind is more let free. A lot of free writing, I think, if you feel like your mind never slows down, right? If you have trouble falling asleep at night, notebook. It's interesting because when I drew that 9, I almost thought that we had the 9 of Swords, which can be sleepless nights and worry. That's not what we have, though. What we have is an active mind this week. So giving your mind an outlet. That could be done in so many different ways. But let's set the intention to give your mind an outlet and your body a rest. Now, second to final card. We do have one of Heather's least favorite cards ever, the 5 of Pentacles, but financial and material changes. We have 3 meanings. 1 or 2 of these could apply to you. Probably not all 3. I think you're going to know who you are when I rattle these off. Meaning number 1 would be the one I frickin' hate, the reason I hate this card, but throw it out of the deck. If it did me good, it won't. But meaning number 1, the worst meaning is you may be heading into a time when money is going to be more tight. Maybe your income dropped a little bit or some unexpected expense came up, or both if you're being particularly blessed with adversity. So ground yourself and get to be a creative, out-of-the-box problem solver, if that's the case. Meaning number 2, with this 5, an ending to feelings of being alone and unsupported. And that might come in different ways. I shared this example that maybe you're feeling very supported at work, but not in other areas, or the other way around, whatever. But support coming in. So an ending to this time that you're feeling left out in the cold and rejected and abandoned, all of it, all that horrible stuff. Ew, we hate it. But an ending to that, so that's really good. Now, meaning number three. Meaning number three. Someone close to you, whether that's personal life or work or both, may be going through a sudden financial difficulty. Keep in mind that you can help them even if you don't have a lot to give them. Look for other ways that you can help that person. So you're going to know who you are. And if you don't right now, maybe bookmark this, write it down, and watch over the next couple of weeks and be like, oh, yeah, that Five of Pentacles card. I had a heads up about this. And then final card, where did I put it? There it is. From the Angel Prayers deck, we have unconditional love with the Divine Mother. What a beautiful energy with this. Thank you, Divine Mother, for helping me to give and receive the love I deserve. We have this theme that if you've been rejected, abandoned, if you've been made the scapegoat in your family or the black sheep, you may have developed this subconscious thought pattern that you have to earn love. That is a load of horse shit. So let's call on the Divine Mother to help us remember that you don't have to be this. You don't have to jump through hoops to be loved. You are love. All right, you are. And you deserve the absolute best. You deserve all of that unconditional love. So the next time you are able to sit quietly or go into meditation, set one or both hands on your heart and set the intention to call on the Divine Mother to help open that connection through your heart center to an unending well of powerful high vibration, divine, unconditional love. Let it flow through you. Let it engulf you. Let it surround you. It's really beautiful. I really like that. I can feel the angelic energy around that message too. So it kind of comes full circle with us where we can feel that angelic energy that we have with this card of feeling supported. And remember this too, that even if people have been not good and haven't stood by you in the 3D, your guides and your angels and the Divine Mother are so there for you. They are just so there. They are with you. They are in you. You're one with the divine. Okay, let's remember this. Let's remember who you are. Remember what you came here to do. Also, remember that if you keep yourself small, think about it this way. This isn't even about you. If you've got a divine mission, to allow Source or God or whoever and the angels to work through you, who are you to get in the way? Put your ego aside. Put your self-doubt aside. Think of it this way. You've got a mission to uplift this planet. Don't let your silly little ego stop you from that. I love you. Your spirit guides see you. Until the next time, namaste.